And now we go back to the Senzo Meyiwa's case, where it seems as though families are losing hope over the possibility of justice being granted to his family. And joining us now to discuss further on this is an attorney with the University of Johannesburg's Law Clinic, Elton Hart. Elton, thank you so much for joining us. Now, what fuels South Africa's frustration with the Senzo Meyiwa trial delays? And what does this say about public trust in the judiciary?
No, indeed, it creates a lot of problems that people feel that justice delayed is justice denied, the old saying. But also, it gives a sense of that people do not really want to follow as to what is happening with this trial because everything is dragged out. But also, they feel like certain privileges is being extended to certain individuals or witnesses. And on the other hand, you would have that the accused persons is sort of half treated under a heavy hand. But when it comes to the state and the delays that is predominantly occasioned by the state of not lining up the witnesses, it's treated a little bit more softer by the presiding officer. And that is the sentiment that some of the people feel like they don't think that these guys that's currently on trial for the murder of the Bafana soccer star is being treated fairly and they're getting a fair hearing. That's the sentiment of the South African looking at our social media platforms and the word on the street as to how they view and what's their view on the current trend in this case.
Okay, so to be very honest, will the Meyiwa family actually find justice? Because a couple of South Africans who are concerned about this are saying that evidences are there that it was clearly murdered.
No, if one looks at it, and this is now, if you look at it from a legal perspective and through a legal lens, you can see there's a lot of questionable things that happened in the investigation. And the first thing is the tampering that happened with the crime scene. The crime scene was tampered with, it was clean. So do you take the evidence that was presented by the state as the best available evidence and actually the evidence that reflects what happened on that crime scene? No, I don't think so. Then you look at also the types of witnesses that the state is bringing to the fore. Some of these witnesses are sort of half contradicting what the other ones are saying. And even when you talk about the ballistics experts, the evidence of the ballistics experts, and I think if I was the presiding officer, I would look at it very, very sort of half carefully, because the one talks about there is sufficient marks, the other one says there's not sufficient marks, and there's already a question of doubt that arises there. And we know criminal court, you need to be beyond reasonable doubt. And I think the evidence presented by the state at this point in time doesn't prove beyond reasonable doubt that the guys that is currently before court actually committed the crime. Maybe they might knew or they had knowledge of who was involved in the commission of the crime, but I don't think, and that is my personal opinion, looking at the facts that was currently presented and the evidence is currently presented, that these guys is not the 5 guys that actually killed our Bafana goalkeeper. There's somebody else that was involved in leading to the death of Senzo Meyiwa, and they are currently not before court.
Well, it's been since 2014. We don't know for how long this case will drag, but then we'll keep our eyes on it to see if justice will eventually be served. Elton Hart, thank you so much for your time.
No, indeed. Thank you.